We're at Hidden Valley Resort in Tijeras, New Mexico, just about 10 miles outside of New Mexico. And we are going to be talking about this campground. So, more about what you're about to see after this. This could be a really awesome resort. It has potential. But to be perfectly honest, it is the worst in most cases of all the coast to coast we've been at so far. To call it rustic would basically be an upgrade. This is a really rough resort as far as everything. I'm trying to think of a pro, because I usually give you pros and cons. If there's a pro, we're only 10 miles from Albuquerque. I think that's it. It's really the only pro. Besides that, they don't really enforce the campground rules. I've only seen maybe one dog other than ours on leash. And I'll get this out front. There is no Wi-Fi at all. We do get some TV channels, and the cell service is okay. Okay, there's another pro. Good TV, good cell service. Now, mind you, if you notice, the campsites are very close together. I think it was designed back when there were no slides. And if I'm huffing and puffing, we're over 6,000 feet. So, but that's not their fault. Now, here's another thing I want to bring up. 96 to 108 is to the right, 68 to 95 to the left. We're in that section. Now, let's take a look at 96 to 108. These are really supposed to be campsites. And I don't know what or how or when, but they have long since become defunct, I'm guessing. Now, this side, you can't even tell where there might have been places to park. On the other side of these trees, there are some areas that were flattened out and leveled, but there are no hookups out there whatsoever. Huge ruts in the road. So obviously they've given up on this section. Oh, and by the way, the weeds. Yeah, now these weeds here also are throughout our campground. Maybe not as high, but there are still weeds all around the campground. And they call this a resort. Now, another issue, coast to coast, is when we were first told, being a premier member, we would stay for free at the resorts. And they're charging $10 plus a night, $11 a night resort fee to stay at this resort. This is more of those campsites that are supposed to be here. I have no idea what they have planned for this land. In my opinion, this is kind of unacceptable. And we'll get into this when we do our final recap of Coast to Coast in a little, probably about another month from when you see this. But we are expecting something a bit more when you pay in. Some people are paying $20,000 or $10,000 or more to be a Coast to Coast member. And we didn't pay that much, but to be perfectly honest, that is kind of average. Used classic memberships are selling for around $2,000 or more. The premiums are selling anywhere from $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for a used membership. And that's on the low side. You kind of expect more. Now, this is the upper campground. Let's go take a look at the lower campground. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention, and we'll take a look at that in a minute. But there are tent sites. Now, the tent sites are up here on the top, at least some of them are. If you see that orange cone way up there, that big barrel cone, that's where the tent sites are. They have to come all the way down this road, all the way around this road, and down to the lower campsite to find a bathroom. These roads also, I want to point out, as you can see, get quite narrow. And as we were coming up, there was a guy in a car trying to come down. He didn't want to back up. There's no way I was going to be able to back up pulling a rig. I finally tried to just squeeze around him, but there's no room for two rigs to pass if that situation arose. It's not even enough room, really. Barely enough room for a rig and a car to pass. Not to mention you got trees hanging over on both sides. So for a rig, you gotta kind of have to come up through the middle. Otherwise, you're scraping your side of your rig if you try to cut it short. Now, looking at this turn right here, This turn is really pretty sharp, and yet you look at the arrows of which way you're supposed to drive, they want you coming up this way and making this sharp turn, which isn't going to happen. Thank goodness on my way up, there was a campsite that was empty, and I was able to cut across to the other road and then come up this way. So yeah, this is really pretty tight. These sites are even tighter down here. I'm still trying to find the resort aspect of this place. One slide's hanging over on that end, and the other slide is right up on the edge of this side. His slide's over. Yeah, makes it hard to get your slides out. So that is a bathroom and bathhouse back here. So now remember, if you're tent camping, you have to come all the way down that hill over to here and then in. You can see behind me how close these rigs are to each other. I talked to one gentleman that was up in the upper campground. He was just here for a few nights. He's going to another place for the balloon fiesta. But he was making a comment that he couldn't put his slide out all the way when he was parked down here because of the neighbor's slide. So this is the bathhouse. Which side is this? This is just a utility room. Apologize for huffing and puffing, but we are at altitude. Well, I did have one person telling me how nice this is, but other than having a door, it's pretty basic. It's just a very basic shower. I find this funny though. What happened that they needed this sign? Somebody actually tried washing their dog in the restroom? Oh my goodness. Okay, where the heck am I? So they do not have a camp store. They have an office that's basically just a check-in office. And they do have a pool, however. We're going to take a look at that. And there's another little town, Tijeras, and a little town above that up New Mexico 14. It's actually really nice. We had dinner up there the first night we were here, and it's a really nice little restaurant that we went to. Definitely ski resort town type place. So this is the dog park area. Another issue that I had is there are a lot of, I don't know what the plant's called, but it's like a low growing plant that has these stickers and thorns on it. And I already see some in the dog run area. And Atka, we can't walk him too far, and we have to be careful where we walk him because he actually got a thorn in his paw, poor guy, and I had to get that out for him. So yeah, those little stickers are everywhere. And they have this little hiking trail that's loaded with cactus. So you can't really walk the dog along a hiking trail, otherwise they might get into the cactus. So that's still trying to figure out where the resort fees come in. I'll take a look at the pool. Maybe the pool is the resort. Let's see. So it is convenient. It is right off the freeway. There are times where you will hear the freeway noise. It's not horrible. It has not kept us awake. And oh, I see we're coming up on the pool. Okay, maybe another pro. They do have some trash dumpsters in a couple of places. But the con is that 6 a.m. yesterday they decided that's the time that the refuge company comes in to empty the thing. They are not quiet, I just would think. Here we go, resort basketball court. And a tetherball stand, I think. It could be volleyball. Nope, looks like tetherball. No rope and no ball. So the tetherball has neither the tether or the ball. I guess this is a clubhouse. Let's take a look. Is this a way into it? Sorry, no public restrooms. No pets allowed. And it's locked. Maybe it's open on the other side. So am I too early? No, it's after 10 o'clock. I would think it'd be open. So once again, register. Oh, this is open. Let's see. So you got a fridge. Fridge and a kitchen. TV room. Hey. Card room is locked. So you cannot get into the card room. And it looks like at one time there might have been bathrooms in there. Yeah, I believe that there are bathrooms in there, but they keep that room locked because I guess they don't want to clean it. That would be my guess. Play area. Ooh. The grounds around the pool. The pool is locked, and for good reason. So that's the pool that we're paying resort fees for, that's locked in green. I guess I wouldn't want to be in there anyway. So yeah, this is Hidden Valley in New Mexico, Tijeras, New Mexico. And to be honest, I cannot give this any kind of recommendation. I believe it is open to the public, but to be honest, I would not want to be here. I'm not even sure. If I find out how much it costs per night for the general public, I'll put it in the comments below. But this is this is really pretty bad. I mean, this spot doesn't look too horrible, but that's the first thing you see when you come up. But when you look closer, there are weeds pretty much everywhere. I don't know what else to say about this place, other than enter at your own risk. So I will basically have my camera with me when we drive out. We're going to be heading out either today or tomorrow to head back to Albuquerque for a little bit. I'll get a video of the road coming in, and you're probably looking at that right now, how tight this is. Oh, don't forget the speed bumps. They kind of blend in, and they're very high. 3 of them, so make sure you get over all 3. They're pretty hard. Oh, there is one other point I forgot to mention. Our neighbor's electrical, it either was non-existent, I think it was non-existent. Some of these sites will have a hookup, but there's no electrical post. So they were talking about jerry-rig wiring to the people behind them and bypassing the meter. Yeah, I don't know how legal that would be, but yeah, they're going to try to jerry-rig and bypass the meter. They wound up running their line over and overloading another circuit on the other side, so there's like 3 rigs and 1 standard and one box. So what can I say about this place? And the water pressure actually is horrible. We do have our water pressure regulator on it, but it's supposed to only cap if it gets too high. It doesn't restrict. During peak times of the day, the pressure is just barely coming out. When a lot of people left, it got better. So and we're not even that full, so as far as the campground goes. So I'm going to take a moment right now to close this one out. Don't forget to hit that subscription button. Give it a thumbs up for good measure. Hit the notification bell, let you know when we post every Sunday at 2. Till then, safe travels. See you on the road.